shot them a message and thanked them, and told them we'd love to have them as guest speakers. And they're like, well, you let us know when. And so, I mean, that was just, 2 weeks ago. So they were immediately available to jump on with us. And Linda and I had the opportunity to hear them. They were speakers at Super Saturday in Orlando in January. So when we went there, they just blew me away, with their story and just how just everything with Plexus. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Lynn. I saw his name pop up, so I'm assuming there they are. I see their faces. You're just waiting for me to shut up.
All I have to say is, I love you.
I blew you away. I blew you away.
It's clearly me.
You guys, clearly Susie always is riding my coattails. So let's just call it what it is. We're at the dinner, and people are lining up going, Chris, I got your picture. And I'm like, well, sure. And Susie goes, enough with the pictures, please.
That's pretty much how it went. That's right. Yeah.
No.
That's right. That's
how are you guys?
We're great. I'm just gonna mute myself out and let you guys take the mic, because I know they listen to me and Lynn all the time, so I know they want to hear you.
It's go time. Hey, it's like, hello, go.
Yes, we are so excited to have you guys on, and thank you again. We know you're super busy to take the time to talk with us tonight and just share whatever good stuff you guys have to share with us tonight. Our team knows that whatever y'all say is amazing, and it's funny to watch some of these comments. You're all like, yay, our Plexus idols are on tonight, because we kept you guys a secret. So
it's awesome.
Hey, Lynn, my middle name is Lynn, so
you guys
we're related.
You guys are related.
I don't think you knew that, but
we're pretty much totally Plexus sisters.
It's pretty awesome.
I know.
We're always sharing really good stuff. So tonight we're going to start with my favorite cornbread recipe. Go, Susie, tell them about it. Tell them about how you add the cream corn.
No. They wanted us to touch on what we talked about at Super Saturday. So I'm pretty sure we talked about 3-ways there. Remember?
Yes, definitely, for sure.
Yeah,
if you guys have not done 3-ways yet, they're awesome. It's called the Triplex too. If you've not seen it, we've done a little video on the Triplex. It's awesome, fantastic.
Honestly,
like
when we were at Super Saturday, we were with I'm drawing a
blank.
Who? Melissa Geller. But Natalie.
Natalie.
And she's awesome. And she's like professional.
Kind of like us, except opposite. Yeah.
And so she was touching on the business, and she kept saying 3-ways. And literally, Chris, I'm
like a ticket. I cannot not laugh. I'm going, drive across town for the 3-way one more time. I'm going to lose it. And so sure enough, I'm busting out laughing. And
I mean, that's funny stuff.
Yeah,
right?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
Yes,
we're excited hey, listen. If you say, hey, would you guys like to come on and talk about Plexus? We're like, heck yes, we will. So here's a couple thoughts. We were talking about.
Well, let's tell a quick version of our story.
Okay, snap.
Yes.
He's because I'm a talker.
You're going to have to keep him on track. We were really impressed at convention how professional you were on stage.
Was that fantastic? You know how many times I got warned? I was warned. Like I never asked for permission ever. Okay. And so I had told.
His motto is, don't ask for permission, beg forgiveness later.
Right. And so like I'm doing something, and I mentioned something to Helen McFadden, our good friend, about what we might possibly do or what I was thinking about doing. And she goes, I love it. It's so funny. She goes, but run it by Victor. He'll love it too. So I go, Victor, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, let's cut it. I'm like, what? That's the whole time I'm standing up there. I'm really thinking, I felt uncomfortable. Anytime
you did say something funny, but I don't remember what it was now. But it was fun.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I'm glad you laughed. Yeah, that's the whole reason I was up there.
Okay. So, let's start from our story. So it's getting close to 3 years. August 13th, actually. So we're getting close. I cannot get Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the whole reason
Lord.
that we're on this tonight.
Yes.
I mean, it's so crazy because I really have tried very hard. I knew how bad it was for me. I knew all about the side effects and whatnot. My dad sent me articles, actually, but I loved it, and I could not stop. I ate healthy. I exercised daily, and then I had that and a candy habit that nobody really knew about. And so I started the pink drink just for that. Chris, why did you join, Chris?
Well, Susie, I did it mainly just to mock you.
Yes,
I had tried everything and failed. And so when Susie suggests I was going to drink the magical pink drink, I came on Facebook and I said, great news, everybody. Susie wants me to get healthy and drink this pink drink. And so I did. And then I found out it was a network marketing company, which every preconceived idea that I had was
we called it an
bad.
MLM.
Yeah, an MLM, right?
We didn't know the term network marketing or direct sales until like 6 months in. MLM was all we knew.
Yeah.
And we had a vision of that of like gold chains and
yeah, you know, if you've ever seen Brothers where they do like the whole boats and hose thing.
Boats and hose.
Yeah, that's our whole thing. We always laugh about it because it reminded us of
yeah, right.
Exactly like our Diamond Dog. Yeah.
So we did not really tell anybody. Even once we got into it, we didn't tell anybody that part of it. It was all the health side of it. And so here's what you have to know. I'm very cheap. And so I joined for the discount at $34.95 because why am I going to pay more than I have to?
Why would you?
Chris did say he would try it, even though he was mocking me.
Yeah.
What's really funny is he did a before and after. Did you already tell
me? It was like an hour apart. I was poofing out my cheeks and I go, Susie says I'm going to drink this pink stuff and I'm going to lose weight. And I'm like, you know, going, and then like an hour later I came back and I'm holding my face and I go, Susie was right. This stuff is fantastic. And it was totally
and he says something about now I'm rich and I'm a Calvin Klein Speedo model.
Yes.
In the comments, so we're joking back and forth and some of our other friends. And in the comments say, oh, and we're going to get a Plexus Lexus and go to convention, right? And I'm totally joking. I had no idea that we didn't know that there was such a thing as a Plexus Lexus.
No clue.
And we didn't know even about convention. All we knew is that MLMs typically had conventions that were cheesy in our heads.
So like, here's what you guys, this is point number 1, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear
Susie, take notes. Susie, take some notes. So point number 1 is be yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You don't have to be wild and crazy and stupid, and you don't have to put it all out on Facebook. But I got to tell you, people can sense genuine you.
Yes.
And so a lot of times when you hear us describing our story, people will get lost and think that, you know, well, I have to be like that in order to be successful. And it's just not the case at all. Matter of fact, totally the opposite, because people will sense that you're trying to sell them something versus genuinely sharing something with them, right?
Oh, that's so true. And so, and here's what you have to know. If we had been approached like with the business side of it, we would have ran for the hills.
Yep. No time for that.
I was very interested in the health part, and that's why we joined. But now we were very busy as you could get. 4 kids. We owned our own business. I taught fitness classes, blah, blah, blah. Busy. And so if somebody had approached us with the business, we would have been like, no, we have no time for that.
Yeah.
And so
we're busy over here trying to pay bills while we don't need freedom. We're not interested. No, thank you. So here's what happened. So Susie starts saying to me, I think she's getting all these emails because.
Okay, so wait.
What?
Back up.
Susie.
So we start the products. We get the products. We start them. We're all excited because I think they're going to be great. And they were. And I quit Diet Dr. Pepper by day 2.
Hang on. You guys get your tissues out. This is a real tearjerker. Go, Susie. Tell them about how you quit the Dr. Pepper.
No candy.
She just stopped it.
What?
Go.
Excuse me. And so, but the really crazy thing was within a few days, I started seeing other health things that I was surprised by, but he like totally transformed. Like he was not even the same person after just a few days. Like he's drinking the pink drink. I think we started maybe Probio. I can't remember.
I think so. Probio.
But he had Probio. We called it Probio for like a full 6 months.
Yep.
And we would laugh.
We hear other people say Probio. We go,
that?
It's Probio, goof, right? Yeah.
So like I'm watching him transform. He's like starting to exercise. Well, here's what you have to know. We've been married now 24 years. So at the time, 21. And I taught fitness classes and I could not get him to exercise. It was this huge point of contention. Like he went out of his way to be unhealthy, to annoy me. Like for real.
Seriously, if Susie was going to run like a marathon, I would sit in the recliner for 26 hours straight and go like, I'm going for a record, Susie. Don't leave me alone. The Lord did not make me that way. I'm not wired like you.
For real.
If I'm running, something is chasing me.
Yeah.
Literally, we would have that conversation.
And our other argument, besides that, was about money. And so here's what you have to know for our backstory. We did really, really well, really early. We got married at, 19 and 21. We were babies.
Yes, seriously.
And we did well early on, and we owned our own mortgage company. And then when the mortgage crisis happened, we
crashed with it.
Yes, we did. And we held on way too long, and things got really ugly.
Broke.
We were faced with losing our house, and nothing's worse than wondering how you're going to keep a roof over your kids' heads. Oh. And so the best thing that ever happened to us by far.
People think we're lying or crazy when we say It's the best thing that ever happened to us.
For sure.
It totally gave us a perspective. Now, here's what you have to know about our story. And this is our story. But the Lord totally put Plexus in our life. No, it doesn't matter, Susie.
He stole that.
No, you hadn't give credit where credit is due, and so I felt bad. I was like, so we're sitting around making all these awesome decisions, going, we'll do Plexus. That's what we're gonna do.
No, I was the one praying for years. I prayed for Chris's health, for him to want to be healthy, and for I read all the Dave Ramsey books, all that.
We're just going to keep any cash in the envelopes. You know what I'm saying, right?
And I was praying for just to be debt-free, financially free. And so I'm going to be really honest. I gave up on that. Like, even though I prayed it, it was just kind of like a rote prayer, like, and help us with this, even though I didn't think it would ever happen. So when God dropped a little pink drink in our laps, it was so an answer to prayer. And that's what you have to know. Like, it was, if it had been up to us, we would have totally not been good at this. And we would have ruined it.
Oh, totally.
So it's all the Lord.
So all of a sudden, we're having success with the products. We're seeing people around us. But the next point that I'm about to tell you, and it comes along as we tell you our story, I want you to learn from what happened to us. And so there's a point that happened shortly after.
I know where you're going with this.
Well, wow, Susie, it's your story. Okay,
so watch. Belief?
It is. So watch what happens. So I'm feeling fantastic. I have relatives that are trying the products with us, neighbors trying the products. We feel great.
A lot of my friends, because here's what you have to know, and this is very important. I personally messaged people. Chris personally messaged people. And it wasn't out of trying to make money. Here's what you have to know. We weren't trying to make money. We didn't know you could make money, honestly. But it was like I was sending messages going, hey, you got to have so-and-so try this. Or I know that so-and-so has rheumatoid arthritis, which I know it's not compliant. Put that out there.
We're talking private,
This is a private group thing.
Yeah.
But anybody I could think of that I knew these products would help, because I became a firm believer very quickly. And so I'm messaging everybody I could think of, telling them without knowing I can make money.
Okay. See, notice how this whole thing works, right? Susie will tell me when I can talk and when I cannot. And so every once in a while, she's like, okay, now you can talk. Continue on. But I am totally the boss of me. So watch. So I look over and Susie calls me in the other room. And she says, get in here. We got to call everybody. And she is white and she's sitting in front of a computer screen. And there's this article pulled up on the computer. And I'm looking at it and I start reading it. It's talking about all these negative things about
Plexus.
It's going Plexus and this and Plexus and that.
Liver failure.
And I'm reading it and I'm reading it. I get all the way to the bottom and I look at Susie and I go, okay, we got to call everybody and tell them to stop. But I'm going to keep taking it because I feel fantastic. Okay, now, the reason we tell you this part of our story is because we didn't have any belief. We didn't know that this was misinformation. We didn't realize that there's all these articles and there's stuff where some people's whole life revolves around saying negative things about Plexus because we were only a couple weeks in.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, if you know us at all, you know we are Plexus nuts, right?
We have bulletproof belief.
Bulletproof
you can't say
belief.
anything to us.
You could show up here and be like, and I'm going to say, hey, that's awesome, buddy. But we have thousands and thousands of testimonies of people's health being transformed. So I want you to know that you're not alone when it comes to not having belief. But it is important when you bring on new ambassadors that they don't suddenly go dark. Meaning that, let's say you had something that's all gung-ho. Well, their grandma gets on Google and starts getting lost and calls them up and says, hey, this stuff has bad this and bad that. They don't know, okay? Yeah. They have no belief. So they just come up with some other reason and they go dark. So you need to really fill in the belief because if you know anything, if you've been an ambassador for an hour or 3 years, or 5 years, I'm telling you guys, these products are transforming people's health.
The products literally do all the work for us.
Literally.
All you have to do is really get a sample of the pink drink in their hand.
So I had told Alec, we become friends with Alec Clark. What?
At the end of that article, she was selling skinny fiber.
Oh, yeah, she was totally just selling something different. But what really is embarrassing about us telling you that story is we gave up on our belief like that. It was like we were all going, oh, we feel great, we feel awesome. And then as soon as you read something, I read it and I go, it's on the internet. It's got to be true, right? I mean, what a joke. Yeah. I laugh at myself.
So y'all might, maybe if you know us, we talk to strangers a lot. We're always talking to strangers about Plexus. And we have people that look at us like we're completely nuts.
Sure.
And then we have people that are interested. And we have people that were like, oh, they are going to be the best ambassador ever. We're so excited for them.
Hate their
this is going to change their lives.
Becky, go, Becky, go.
And then they don't mess us. They don't call us. They go
Becky?
dark.
Becky, change your phone number, Becky, right?
And so what we finally figured out, because this happened a few times, and we were shocked by it, but what we finally figured out, we were Googling. And so now when we talk to somebody, if we have their interest like that, we're like, hey, if you Google Plexus, you're going to read some stuff. There's haters out there, but you just have to trust us.
And really,
put it out.
Right. And here's what I'm going to suggest to you, since you went there, Suze. Give them the information that you want them to see.
Yeah.
Get their information so you can be in control of the information. It's the biggest mistake. Like when we meet a stranger, our goal is not to sign them up on the spot. It is to get their information. So then I can send them a canned information, like an email that says, here's Plexus, and maybe there's a couple videos for them to watch. Maybe it's a diamond dot. But we're in control of both the information we send and the follow-up. And you hear it all the time, and it almost sounds cliche, but I swear to you, if you're not following up with your people, you're just spinning your wheels. Like people suddenly they feel a little constipated, and they go, oh, the wind's blowing from the south, and I'm constipated. It's got to be the Plexus. And so they're like, I'm out. And you're going, oh, gosh. So back to our beginning of our story. The beginning. Well, then suddenly I'm looking over, and Susie says, she's holding a check in her hand. They had just started.
Oh, whoa. First, I said to him, I think we're making money.
Susie, nobody makes any money in those things. Right.
I was getting emails. Congratulations. You have a new ambassador. Congratulations. And just so you know, my big strategy, because I had no strategy, was I told everybody the same thing. Hey,
do what we
become
did.
An ambassador. You get wholesale $34.95. You get the wholesale cost, and you get a 60-day money-back guarantee.
Yeah. Wow.
I told everybody
How'd that work out
for months. And when I finally figured it out, I was like, oh, we don't get I didn't know that. So if you're new, ambassadors get 5-day money back.
And we didn't know that. Nobody ever asked for their money back. Once again, proving the power of the product.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the corporate return rate is less than 1% as a whole. If that doesn't tell you all by itself that the products are amazing and do what they say, I don't know what does. But I know, Susie, can I go tell this part now? But you
don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? So,
when you started to, but you shut me down. You said you were getting emails.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Plexus sends us a check, okay? I got to tell you guys, like, remember, we had not logged into our back office. We had never even seen a compensation plan. We were telling a lot of people about Plexus just based upon what it was doing for us and others, okay? So in other words, if you wanted to simplify it, we weren't selling anybody. We weren't trying to make money, but we felt so good, and we were watching other people suddenly start to have some results like we were having. We're telling a lot of people. We went past our goal without knowing what that meant. And so we get our first check, and we rip it open, and literally my jaw drops. I could not believe they had sent us real money. And the exact words were standing at the mailbox is I looked at Susie and I go, oh my gosh, I think we've done something illegal. Okay? I could not believe that they had sent us this real money. We could have paid our mortgage 4 times.
And I was jumping up and down going, I told you, because he mocked me when I said I thought we were making money.
So I speak dial my attorney friend, and I'm like, Susie has gotten us in some kind of a scheme, and I like it, and so like this is how we got started. My attorney buddy does the research, checks into Plexus, and calls me back and says, they're backed by Morgan Stanley. Their growth is off the charts. By the way, I need to lose about 25 pounds. Sign me up. And that was like the moment where the entrepreneurial marketing side, I had already seen this incredible results with the products. We were naturally telling everybody, my beautiful wife, who's not a salesperson, but loves health.
I can't sell anything.
Nothing. And like you guys probably think that, but like when you see Susie, if you knew the Susie like pre-Plexus where she wasn't passionate, crazy about these products, she would literally, her pits would start getting sweaty if somebody was selling something anywhere.
But I will tell anybody, like, I love my VivoFit. I will tell everybody why they should own one or certain running shoes or whatever. If it's something I'm telling people about it. It's just part of my personality.
Right. That's awesome. You are beautiful. So here's the next thing I'm going to tell you guys. Please, like, we tell you our story because one of the biggest things that Susie and I do is we recognize really quick that this opportunity is just as much for you as it is for Lynn, as it is for Stephanie, as it is for everybody that's on this call. Like, I used to lose sleep in the beginning because I thought the first year when we showed up to Hawaii, we were by ourselves.
That sucks.
It sucked.
I mean, we enjoy each other.
Oh, yeah. No, but we're like, going, great. But we didn't understand.
We didn't have a team with us.
No concept of it. We just had signed up tons of people. We were telling everybody, but we literally had no clue what we were doing. The next year, we had about 10 people qualify, which is pretty cool. This year, 40 plus. Next year, we think hundreds. But I'm telling you this because you can be one of those people. Like the biggest mistake that people make with Plexus and their Plexus ambassadors is they don't put forth. What they do is they get in and they're all excited because they sense there might be something there might be change there might be something that could transform their health and their finances. But when the newness starts to wear off, or it's not as fresh, they kind of just go back and start chasing butterflies elsewhere. And I see it all the time. The people that are now jewels on our team are people that literally bought in and said, okay, if these two crazy nuts can do it, I can do it. I mean, we have doctors quitting and leaving their careers. We have pharmaceutical reps. We got pharmacists. We have all these people that make really good money, but they don't have any freedom, right?
And I think that I'm just going to go ahead and
jump in there, Susie. Break on in. I wasn't hogging anything. I had really good stuff right there.
So here's the thing. I think this, and I know I do the same thing and have done the same thing, but it's so easy. Oh. No, it's so easy to talk to the clerk behind the counter that we know they're probably not enjoying their job very much or whatever. But it's not so easy to talk to the doctor, the pharmacist, the lawyer, somebody that you think of as successful. Well, they're successful, so they probably really won't want to hear about Plexus.
Right.
You never, ever know what somebody's why is going to be. And so I thought it was so funny when people started making a big deal about know your why.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you really do need to know your why, because that is a defining moment for a lot of people when they figure out, oh, I could do this and stay home with my kids. Okay. That's a great why. Or maybe your why is just to earn enough money to, I don't know, send your kid to baseball camp, whatever it is. I mean, the whys can vary. But I think that you have to be willing to talk to anybody and everybody. Don't put limits on who you're talking to. The same thing goes for the health side for the products. People have said to me, I never would have told you about Plexus because you were really healthy. Well, they didn't know that I was taking Miralax every night to go to the bathroom. I didn't share that on my news feeds.
Right.
They didn't know.
Taking Miralax.
Yeah. They didn't know that I ate candy because I was like, Candida, I can say that on this, because I was craving sweet. They didn't know that. I didn't advertise the unhealthy side of my life. Everybody knew that I was into health and fitness. So I've had so many people tell me that. So make sure, you never know what's going on with people. Back to the financial situation, we didn't go around telling people, well, we're broke. This sucks. We don't know what we're going to do. We were definitely not going around telling people that. So you never know what somebody's financial situation is either, and whether they could use the extra income.
Right. And when we got into Plexus, we weren't broke. We had gone through the broke time. We had bought a fishing company, and I knew we were never going to make a lot of money, but I wanted freedom.
We were working very hard.
Right. So, And so, like, I tell you that because Plexus, when it came into our lives, it was almost like this. The way it happened for us, that's why we never have any doubt that it was totally the Lord, like 1,000,000,000%. So now let's talk strategy. Okay, this is important because
Can I say something real quick before I forget?
Sure, I'm going to forget my strategy, Susie.
Well, you think of your strategy while I talk.
Okay, let me focus.
So back to the beginning when Chris said, don't change who you are. We've been very careful because we know what appealed to us. But I have to tell you, what appeals to you might not be what appeals to Bobby, Cindy.
You may hate us. It's okay.
It's okay. We're not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Especially
her. I know. I'm probably your cup of tea, not her.
So make sure that you are letting people know about the various aspects and not just keeping it one thing. So I'm going to give you an example. We have an ambassador that signed up specifically because she wants to win the Bloomingdale shopping spree. That is nothing that ever would have gotten my attention because I don't even like to go shopping unless it's to like Academy Sporting Store.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, you never know what's going to be somebody's cup of tea. So make sure that you are, and like, you do want to do the financial side of it. I waited like 5 months to talk about the financial side of it. And the only reason I started then was because Chris started tagging me in financial posts. It made me so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's just going to think I'm trying to sell them these products. So, and here's what I do know to be a fact. I have an ambassador now who signed up under a friend of mine who said if I had brought up the financial side 2 years ago, she would have signed up for that. But instead, I only talked health. And so she wasn't ready to get healthy. She needed to, but she wasn't ready to. And you have to know that about people. Ooh, I have one more good thing to go
Well,
into.
I mean, you're pretty much sucking the life out of everything that I would have to say. It's fine. You accused me of hogging earlier, and you've done nothing but get even and hog the last minute.
But I have to say this. You never, ever know when somebody's going to be ready. And so when Chris talked about people this isn't warm and fuzzy anymore, and they go to something else, I have people that have come to me, some people have come to him. We know people because their person that they heard about it from, that they were going to join, quit. And so they are now looking for somebody that's doing Plexus because they want to do it, but they weren't in the right place at the right time. They didn't need the financial side, or they didn't need the health side, or weren't ready to get healthy. And then boom, fast forward 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years. Shoot, we have people just now that have been our Facebook friends the whole time that will message us, and we're like,
have you been in? Yeah, I mean, seriously, because look, what you guys are posting about? I'm like, welcome, Jenny from high school.
Yeah, but you just never know.
You never know.
So the only way that you lose with Plexus is if you quit.
That's it.
That is, and with the products too. We are as consistent with the product. Shoot, I started doing 2-a-days with pink drinks last week just because I love the taste.
So here's a couple thoughts, okay? What we have with Plexus is so unique. With our leadership of this company, I mean, I got to tell you guys, this is so important that you guys know this. The leadership, like Tarl, if you know Tarl, he was like well prior to Plexus. He wanted to leave a legacy company. He wanted to do, you hear that kind of, in the beginning, they would say it the way network marketing could and should be done. And we would kind of go, it is totally the truth. Like if you go all in with Plexus, you're not going to get left holding, like, I think a lot of people are fearful, like, what if it goes away? Or what if the company does this or does that? That is not happening. I mean, Plexus will be a household name. I think 5 years from now, you'll no longer ask people, or people won't ask you, what's Plexus? They're going to say, oh, who do you buy your Plexus from? Because it's going to be so accepted just based upon the results of the product. So what you want to do is you want to start to grow, nurture your team, like right now.
Yeah.
Don't wait and sit on the sidelines and all of a sudden 5 years from now you go, boy, Kristen says you were on to something. We know, like we've watched the growth. It's not been off one time. We will do $1 billion with a B in the next year or two. And so like when you hear that, what does that mean to you? Like if you do $1 billion, when you reach that, when you get to the word, you are here to stay. It's nothing like you have the ability to sustain yourself as a company, whether not a new person ever joined or not. It's like when we can all sit around and laugh at like Amway and this and that. We'll never be anything like that. But I promise you, there's a lot of people that made a lot of money with Amway, even though we can joke about it. Or I did, that was who we tried not to be. So here's the next thing I'm going to tell you guys.
You love Amway.
I have nothing against them. Hey, I've got nothing but respect for network marketing companies that can do that much business.
Yeah, we love
we'll
them
never
now.
be anything like them. But I want you to hear a couple things when people ask us all the time, what's the difference between Plexus and blank? It's one of the most common questions we get. They'll say Zeal. They'll say Herbalife. They'll say 1,000 things. Okay. There's something that's so huge that makes us nothing like any of those companies that I want you to be able to respond as soon as they ask you, what's the difference? Here's the difference. You can measure for yourself that our products are doing what we say. Boom!
Measurable results.
Measurable results is the biggest thing. The reason if you're a diabetic or you're pre-diabetic.
Excitement for that.
Just laughing. So if you ever, the reason I say that is because if you're a diabetic, we have pharmacists here in town, when you show up with a prescription for metformin, they'll suggest you go on Plexus Slim to control your blood sugar and you're going to get healthy side effects instead of negative side effects. So once again, they're pricking their finger. They can measure for themselves. If you've not been on the products and you went and had all your lab work done, you went and checked your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your weight, your inches, all of this stuff, took the products consistently for 90 days, went back and remeasured the same things that you measured before you started, it's an IQ test whether you keep taking it. My own doctor, after he took me off blood pressure medicine, said, take it as long as they make it. And bring me more information because I want to take a more serious look at it. We didn't go into all the details of our story because we had to kind of give you a snapshot of it. But don't you agree that it's one of the biggest things?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to add?
More stuff, but I was trying to let you talk.
Oh.
We have to be off in 6 minutes.
Okay.
So here, I didn't get to my point that I started a minute ago because I am a professional rabbit chaser.
Yes.
What I was going to say was don't change. And it is good to stay and be yourself and make sure that you're appealing to what would appeal to you, but also make sure you're appealing to other people. But there's something called self-growth that we've learned a whole lot about.
Absolutely.
And so I needed it, not Chris at all. So we have learned more in this time with Plexus than I'm pretty sure we learned in our whole lives.
Pretty much. And
we continue to learn on a daily basis, and we are open to learning and knowing how we can do things better, because we know that we're definitely not network marketing experts.
No.
So make sure that you're open to growing and learning. And we kind of take our advice from we don't really necessarily read network marketing books, but I think there's probably really great ones. But we more follow like Christian speakers that we think are really good with leadership and that. So I'm just saying, make sure that you are growing first.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. We just did a video about this a little while ago because we see this all the time. Don't take advice from people that they're just trying to rain on your parade and they're not even doing well in life.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we've had somebody say,
well, my Uncle John says it's a scheme.
Yeah. And so it's like, they're all excited. And then Uncle John says it's a scheme. And Uncle John's like in prison.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Seriously.
So you have to really pay attention to who you're taking advice from. If people want to rain on your parade, let them go. Bless and release. And you keep on with your parade. And eventually they're probably going to go, oh, well, she was onto something or he was onto something.
Yep.
My favorite quote in the whole world is kill him with kindness and bury him with success.
Boom.
Okay. I want to make sure
so
I get that in.
Now you're going to hear a little strategy. Okay.
We have 4 minutes.
I know. Our own son was a silver ambassador for about 1.5 years.
He's 21 now.
Super introverted. He's a man, 6'5" something, just a monster guy.
6'4", but you wouldn't even know that he was our kid because he's so quiet.
So, but we sent him off into the real world. He went to work at Academy for $8 an hour. And we're over here talking freedom. We have people that are jewels that are in college on our team. And so he sees this. And so he says, okay, I want to get serious about my business. I said, okay, let's do it. He says, what should I do? How do I know if I'm on track? Now, what I'm about to tell you will cause some of you to get really uncomfortable and your pits are going to get sweaty, but you have to trust me. This can be done. Okay. I looked at my son and I said, his goal is a jewel. Okay. So when I tell you this is something that may require more effort and more time, if you're just trying to pay for your products, you don't have to be on this kind of a pace. But if you want to achieve jewel status, this is what I suggest that you do. And with it comes Lexus, the trip to Hawaii and financial freedom, the income. Right. So I told him, I said, I want you to add 3 people to your team somewhere each week. And he looked at me and he said, Dad, it took me 6 months to go silver, and you're asking me to do something that I don't think is even possible. I said, okay, well, let's try. I said, I'll help you do some 3-way calls. I'll help you just find an opportunity where we can present the opportunity and the products, and let's see if we can get something done. So within the first week, he added his girlfriend, who apparently was reluctant to join him, which was funny because it wasn't one of his silver ambassadors. Well, suddenly, and I told him, don't worry about what level they are to you, because Susie and I never have. We treat our team like our team. We're one mission.
We don't even know any. We have no idea what level people are.
And we're not saying that's the best thing. We're saying it's our way. Okay.
Well, the people that want it and are running with it, those are the people that we're like, we'll help, we'll do whatever you ask us, we'll help you.
That's it. Yeah. We don't care. It's not about what's in it for us. It's about what's in it for them. And so when my son says, I want you to help me, build this thing. So sure enough, the first week he added 3 people to his team, mom, sister-in-law, all these different things are happening. And he starts texting me, I added 3. I can't believe it. So he does it again the next week. He does it again the next week. He went gold, senior gold, ruby, and he's ruby, about to go senior ruby. His goal was to be in Maui or in Kona by the end of July. He didn't make it, but I remember him posting a post on Facebook that he had added like 75 people to his team that month. And I look back at that conversation, and I had never given him a clear plan of what it looked like to be on a good track. Now, I know 90% of you are sitting there going, well, that sounds crazy and that sounds impossible. I'm not saying it's easy, because he would call me at 5 o'clock in the morning or send me a message and say, I'm messaging a guy from high school that was, this and that, and I'm inviting him. And so I want you to know that on that type of pace, it will start to grow. Now, as he gets bigger, he started expanding his own goal. Yeah. He'd go to 4 a week, then 5 a week, and then, that start to do it. But I'm telling you guys, you can totally do it, don't you?
And on this note, there's only one thing, like we are like the world's worst about knowing the reports in the back office. Like we know nothing. Honestly.
Nothing. Literally.
So, but here's what we do know. How many people we add a day to our team.
Yep.
And we know if we're not adding people, enough
the
people
is
that
gone.
day,
then
we got to do something different.
Because,
and we change what we're doing.
Because we know what to do with them when they come on. We add them to our team page. We know how to get them in what we call fruitful activity. But don't be overwhelmed by all that stuff. What you need to do is just start running your pie hole. If you'll start telling people, they will start joining you, and you'll be shocked who does.
Ooh,
go.
This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I know we have to go. But listen, what you're putting out there about yourself, if you're putting out there that you're a Plexus ambassador, people are going to start watching what you're doing, and they're going to start watching to see if you're getting healthier. And they're also going to be watching your attitude. And I came across somebody's Facebook yesterday. I literally was so in shock because of the horrible things she was posting, and life sucked, and she felt terrible. And
who wants to buy some Plexus?
Bad words.
Come get some Plexus. F you. Come get some.
I'm not
you
even
want
kidding.
some? F me. F you.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Like,
it was a disaster.
And so people, my point is, your message needs to match your lifestyle.
Susie, are you suggesting that they lie and be fake?
No, I'm not suggesting that, Chris. I'm suggesting that they get healthier.
The healthier you get,
your business gets.
Yep.
Or the healthier you get, the healthier your business
gets.
It's
a true story.
It is true. And so let's say that you need to lose 100 pounds and you're like, oh, great. No, any little bit that you're doing. If
I'm
you're
out walking
and you're posting about, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm out walking today. You don't even have to say the word Plexus.
Nope.
You can just say, I can't believe I'm out walking today. I haven't had the energy to do this in a long time. They know. They already know you love Plexus. You've already told them. And so they're going to go, oh, maybe that's working.
So our last piece of advice.
He's nudging.
Stop
to quit talking.
the banner ads. Do not put up advertisements that are just like somebody else's that they created and you throw it up on your page. It's the equivalent of a commercial. When you're watching your favorite show, your friends they're so excited as they're scrolling through your Facebook page, and then they come to you and they go, enough with the Plexus ads. If you make them personal and you make something about yourself, they're interested, and they'll stop and pause and at least read what's going on with your life.
And ask people's opinion about stuff. They love to give their opinion. Ask them, Chris, what's your favorite post that gets the most?
Sometimes people say you look at your dog. Do you look at your dog? Post a picture of your pet.
It's like 400 people with their dog. Like we
it's crazy. It's nuts. It really is interesting. We do like to see.
But make sure you're asking. I mean, I've done things like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of my kids throwing their laundry on the floor. What would y'all do? Oh, that people love. I mean, non-Plexus people come out of the woodworks to give their opinion.
Yes.
So that's really what you're after, because you want to make sure everybody on here, we already love Plexus. We love the pink drink. It's so easy to talk to each other about it, but that is not growing your business. No. So if you're in a lot of groups and those groups are all full of Plexus ambassadors, that's great, but that's not growing your business. Mm-hmm. So get out of those groups, focus on the people that need to hear about Plexus, and make that your target audience.
Hey,
you gotta go.
We're not very techy. We don't know how to shut this thing off, but we're out. See you guys.
Oh my gosh. He literally pulled the plug.
They're hilarious. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that call as much as us. And if you are not excited, then I don't know, y'all have a pulse, because they are the most excited, motivated people we know in Plexus. And they didn't get to tell their story, but they did tell most of their story, but Susie's a diamond ambassador and Chris, her husband, is an emerald ambassador. And they encompass everything we talk about. You know, they have grown their business on Facebook, but they talk to probably 20 to 30 people a day everywhere they go. The gas station, Walmart, the store, wherever, they are sharing Plexus in a very genuine way. So, Steph, you have anything to add?
No, I just thank you guys, everybody, for jumping on. Lynn and I have always talked about Susie's story because she just wanted to quit drinking Diet Dr. Pepper. That was it, And I know that there are people that get into this business and they think that, now we all want to know that the products work, right? Because we can't be passionate and share something if we're not behind it, of course. But there are people out there who hold themselves back because they think they either don't have a good enough story, or they got to lose 50 pounds before they can make a post, or they got to have this miraculous before and after. And you might have some friends that are waiting on the sidelines to see if you lose 30 pounds before they try it. I love the fact that, she's just one example of so many plexus people that we know, that you don't need this, incredible story. I mean, it's great if you have one, but you don't need one for, to be successful in it. And you don't have to have been in network marketing before to be successful in it. They're successful just because they just started, reaching out, telling everybody, hey, we love this. We love this. So I've always admired them. They are high energy. They're like that in person, but I've just always admired them because they're the type of people that no matter how successful they are in this business, they've never forgotten where they come from, who they are. They love on people. They share this, they share plexus from the heart. They are themselves. They're not afraid to be themselves. So I love them to death. And when I reached out to them, they were all about it. And I've reached out to some people before, that took a while to get back to me, or they're just so busy, and the McColls are like, you just tell us when. I mean, so I know so many of you guys love them. So we were really excited when they said, just give us a date and we'll do it.
And I love how they talk about, obviously, belief, but consistency in the story of their son that was a silver for 1.5 years. And, he was not putting the work in that needed to be done to be a jewel. That was his goal. So, when we say go silver, we mean that for you personally. But when you're first starting out, and what he meant was adding 3 people a week on your team, not just his son personally, like his son's team as a whole. Like, as a whole, your team needs to be adding 3 a week or 4 a week or 5 a week for your goals. And if you're not adding someone every day, that's when you have to look and be like, okay, what am I doing? And, adding someone every day would probably be like senior gold level, where you're adding at least 30 people team-wide a month, which breaks down to about 1 person a day, which is very doable once you get 1 or 2 people that are your runners, like they said, that you're pouring into, that want to do this, that are working their business every day, not just working it sometimes. And a lot of what we see that she touched on, the self-growth and development, is, sometimes we have people that we're doing the right things, Lynn and Steph, we're doing everything you're asking us to. And we learned this in Jules training, that sometimes everybody may be doing the right things, but they're lacking the self-growth and self-development side of what they need in plexus to be successful, because maybe they aren't so strong at building those genuine relationships, or when they bring people on, guiding and leading them, and how they're talking to and influencing people in a positive way. So they touched on so much on this call that's just so important, and I was just excited that Steph reached out to them to have them on tonight, because we definitely love them. Like she said, they're that real in person, and just a very infectious energy.
Oh yeah. And when I sent them a message in a group message together, and they were just like, going back and forth and messaging me, both of them. And I'm like, are you guys in the same room together? I mean, it was just hilarious that they were just going back and forth with the messages. But I love what they said tonight about, you can't, they've seen people on their team who read something or they hear something and they're out, they're done, their plexus, this gift with plexus, they check out. And I've seen that happen too. Or if it doesn't happen as fast for some people or whatever. And like Lynn said, if you're somebody that's been doing it a long time, but you don't take the time to really dig in deep and work on yourself and treat this like a business. That's why I've been asked several times since I made Emerald level. I've been asked by certain people, even after Jewel training, I've done calls with other teams, and people will ask me for tips. And even at convention, when somebody asked me for a tip, I said, treat this like a profession. Be proud of it, that this is your profession. If you're just in it and you're just, giving part-time, effort to it, or, you treat it like a hobby or just kind of whatever, those are exactly the results you're going to get. And if you're just trying to get your products paid for, that's great. But if you're really wanting to build a business and grow and go up in rank, and you're sitting back saying, I don't know why this isn't happening, it really comes down to what you do every single day and how much effort you put into it, and just your whole focus on what this business is to you. like you heard them, their belief is rock solid. There's nothing anybody can't say to them. And I mean, I feel the same way with Plexus. There's nothing somebody's going to say to me. And I'm very bold about posts that I've made too, even on my own page about, dang, I'm glad I didn't listen to anybody who made a negative comment, or this friend of mine who unfriended me because I shouldn't use my personal Facebook page for business stuff. You know what I mean? I'm so glad that that never shot me down and made me quit, because look where I am today. And it's all because I didn't listen to negativity of other people who truly, they don't know anything about Plexus. They're just going off of their own opinion and misinformation. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. And if you're in a point where you feel like you've kind of been stuck or things are moving slow for you, then reach out, to one of us and we can help you. And, but it literally all comes down to your mindset, what you do every day with this business, and how much work you put into it. And so, I know they're 100 miles an hour and they're all over the place, but I hope you guys were excited to see them and got a lot out of their call. But they truly are really good people. Like you heard them say, they don't care what level anybody's on their team. They'll help anybody that's got their hand raised and says, I want to do this. So that speaks volumes of them, I think.
All right.
So
thanks, Steph. Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. You summed it all up perfectly. And next week, I know Christy's not on, but we're going to inform her that you probably talked to her. Christy is at Jules training right now at corporate. So we're going to have her on our team call leading it next week, bringing back all good stuff that she has been taking at Jules training. She's there for the next 3 days.
Yeah. And she's got Elizabeth Lewis James, and Helen McFadden, and Sheila Medina, the very first ambassador Plexus ever had. Those are the 3 diamonds that are teaching her. So I know they go over a lot of the same content, but I Lynn and I said this today because we met today and talked about tonight's call and everything. And she's going to bring back totally different things that we did. So, and they're building on each of these trainings that the Jules are doing. So I'm really excited to hear what she's got to say, what she brings back for us.
Yeah, it's going to be more stuff to help you guys just continue to grow your business strong.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.